I'll give you guys a good swirl and a good twirl because it's a happy Sunday and you're back here with me on Today's Woman. It's such a pleasure to have you all here with me, especially my family and friends. And I have a big shout out to my family, my little girl, Lauren. Lauren, I love you. Trenty, I love you. Tyler, Larissa, I love you. To everyone that's watching from home and far and near, I love you all. Welcome to Today's Woman. Now, before I proceed to the entire show, I'd like to obviously give you a word of inspiration and also give you some advice about safety protocols. And this message is coming to you by GTP Timeless, and they say, your life matters. So take good care of yourself. Wash your hands with soap under running water as often as you can. Wear your nose mask wherever you go, whenever you go out. Eat well, rest well to boost your immune system, and follow all other protocols. This is brought to you by GTP, still timeless. And of course, Love 75 for bringing this beautiful set together, and our partners, and for designing this entire decor. Hint, hint. That's moi. So give me a call if you want your decoration in your home and your office. But without further ado, let's take a look at what's up for the day.
On today's monologue, you will be wounded many times in your life. You'll make mistakes. Some people will call them failures, but I have learned that failure is really God's way of saying, excuse me, you're moving in the wrong direction. It's just an experience. Just an experience. Oprah Winfrey.
Welcome back to the Today's Woman show. And for some of you that missed the first part of the show and the inspiration for the day, I'd like to actually read it because this is a very close message to my own heart. Now I'll read it and it goes. You will be wounded many times in your life. You'll make mistakes. Some people will call them failures. But I have learned that failure is really God's way of saying, excuse me, you're moving in the wrong direction. It's just an experience, just an experience. And this is by Oprah Winfrey, whom we all know has overcome trial and tribulation, character assassination, but she has still risen and still soars beyond her own expectations. So take those nuggets of advice and let them inspire you. As I've said on the show, this show is aimed to support you, to inspire you, to propel you to your greater place so that you don't stay, stagnant in the comfort zone for too long. But before we proceed any further, let's go quickly on a commercial break and we'll be right back. Welcome back from the break, and you're here on Today's Woman. And again, once again, to those that didn't see it, Lauren, hi! Trenty, I love you. But before we actually go, I promise to give you a kiss. Mwah, I love you, my darlings. I love you, Larissa. I love you, Tyler. I love the entire family with all my heart. So before we actually proceed, I have a message from GTP. We're not in normal times, and I would love to remind you to stay prudent, stay safe, and always, always wear your mask. But this particular message says from GTP, your life matters. So take good care of yourself. Wash your hands under running water with soap and wear a mask whenever you go out, everywhere you go. Eat well. Have a balanced diet, exercise to boost your immunity, and of course, follow all other protocols. And this is brought to you by GTP, still timeless. And of course, for this beautiful set provided by Love 75 and all its partners. Now, before we proceed, I'd like to give you a bit of a preview, a snippet of our next guest, or the lady on the move. This particular lady is very much our today's woman. She's trendy. She is, she's going outside of the norm. She is making salads and she's making healthy meals, smoothies. Let's take a look at what Catherine Mills has to offer. She's the lady on the move.
I am Catherine Asantwa Mills, the last girl of 3 guys. I grew up in Adabraka, went to Wesley Grammar. From there, I had short courses in journalism. Now, from there, I started work in a media house at Dansoman. I used to go for lunch at a restaurant, and they used to have this salad in a cup, sort of. And I tasted it once and I was like, I love this. So I would go back and go back and go back. And that is where I picked up this whole salady thing from. I grew up with a mom who wouldn't always sit. There are days that you can see that she's really tired, but she has to make ends meet. She has to make sure that you're okay. So why would you grow up and be like sitting down because maybe this is not moving well for you or that is not moving well for you? God has given everybody something, and I believe mine is making salad. I didn't learn anything from anywhere. It just came to me. Aside from my love for it, I just push more. I love what I do. You should see me when I'm making salads. I can wake up at any time just to make sure that a client gets a salad on time. So when I started the salad, I had a salad tasting done. I called a few family and friends to tell me what they thought, about any other thing I had prepared. So I think it took me about a year more, because going out there, like being on your own as a business person, is not a joke. It is not a joke. There's fear. Hey, what if this thing doesn't go well? What if I don't sell? How do I eat? That sort of thing. But it took me about a year, but then I came out. My now husband invested in me, or the business. And that is how Salad Haven came about. So as time went on, as I was working, I was reading, I was listening to what people had to put in. I found sources for most of my things. I would go to a farm instead of going to the market to get my lettuce fresh. My green peppers come from the farm. My cucumbers come from the farm. I buy most of my stuff from the farm to get it in its fresh state. And also I've learned how to preserve them. The road hasn't been easy. There are times I have cried. I remember there was a time I had a big order. I think about 20 pieces of salad, and I was so late. I was so late. I was so late. And I didn't know how to go about it. I remember I sent one half of the salad, like the package, let's say if it was 20, I sent 10, and then my husband had to come in and try and deliver the other 10. When he got there, half of the people had left the event. I think for a whole week, I wouldn't speak to anybody. I wasn't even working because I was so down. I remember the client kept saying, I'm so disappointed. I had disappointed. I think I kept hearing it. It was just echoing for a while. And I remember I just said, no, I think I won't do this thing again. I've stopped. Like, I'm tired. So a client was chatting me that day. She was like, oh, how was your day? I was like, today has been hell. Then she was like, see, these things will happen. I think because I had just started, I didn't know how to deal with all that. But I love the fact that I'm crawling, sort of, learning every other day. I love the fact that I bring joy to people. I have met people, not physically, but through my salads. And I enjoy doing it. Being an entrepreneur is hard. It's not easy. Coupling it with home, if you have children and all that, but then you have to find a way to just balance it. If you're out there, you want to start something, it's okay to be scared. That is what it's all about. But give yourself time, work towards it. It would happen. It would be all right. It will work. If you don't take that leap, how would you know if it will work or not? So do not be scared. Just do it.
On Today's Woman is an executive director of Multiple Concepts Group, one of West Africa's leading marketing communication firms with subsidiaries in Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Cape Verde, specializing in 360 communication solutions. She is the CEO of Charterhouse, Ghana's leading events management, audio, visual, and TV production company with over 20 years' experience in the management of public, corporate, and national events. She has led the production of public events such as the annual Ghana Music Awards Festival, a Night of 1000 Laughs comedy series, Miss Malaika Ghana, Ghana Rocks concert, and many others. Mrs. Theresa Ayowade is our guest today.
From this really elaborate profile of my guest that's with me today, the lady who you've just seen is someone that I respect in the industry because we're within the same sector, the marketing, communications, and advertising and event management. But she's someone who supports and, you know, she's a true sense of woman empowerment. Mrs. Theresa Ayode. I've said that. Ayode. You're Ghanaian. Ghanaian, born, bred, educated, culturally, you know, formed. But you're married to a Nigerian man. That was the very first thing I wanted to ask you. How has it been? How has it been in these years that you've been married to your husband as a Ghanaian woman, as a powerful Ghanaian woman?
Well, they've been awesome. That's all I can say. They've been awesome. And I don't think it really, I've always been a very open-minded person. I've always been very adventurous. And I've always said I could marry anybody. It all depends on how we get along, what kind of connections we make.
Yes.
And also how mentally stimulating the relationship is.
That's very important.
That's, yeah, for me. So that's really what takes it for me.
Okay.
So whoever comes in that sort of package.
Yes.
And of course, I mean, all the other attributes.
I was going to ask you which attributes
you're looking for.
And you know I'm going to ask you which attributes are those.
So
Nigerian men are known to be very charming.
Very charming.
Extremely bold and forward, you know, forward speaking.
Yes, very
did
much
you
so.
Did you feel that, I'll ask you this, I think that I'm a sapiosexual. Someone who, if you don't stimulate my mind, you know, if you don't entertain me by me learning from you, I feel like at some point as an alpha female, I get bored.
Definitely.
Do you feel
so.
that that's something that was like a pull for you as well? Because
Definitely.
you're a strong woman, Theresa.
Very, very much so.
Okay.
Very, very much so. Because, like I said, when you're an alpha female, you definitely need to have somebody who has a very strong personality.
Exactly.
And whom you can look up to.
Yeah.
So he gave me that sort of feeling.
That balance and that feel.
That feeling.
So I read a little bit about the story. So you guys started off as business partners. So an alpha female like yourself, because I know you're strong, Theresa, you're calm, collected, but they say still waters run deep.
Yeah, very much so.
So being quiet on the outside, being very composed as you've always been, how have you been able to manage a strong alpha male such as your husband? I've always wondered how you've managed that. How?
Well, people always ask how we met and how we came together and all of that. We actually met in Ghana, right here.
You met here?
Yes.
Okay.
Right here. And we actually met on the job.
Okay.
I used to work at Joy FM as a sales executive. And I was asked by my colleague to come with him for a business meeting. And there were these Nigerians in town who were doing an event. So he wanted to go pitch for them to advertise on Joy FM. So he got me to work with him on the proposal, and he said, why don't you come with me for the meeting so you could present it? And if we get the deal, I'm going to give you a commission. I'm like, okay.
So he already had someone planned or something planned for you?
No, he didn't know the sparks were going to fly.
Oh,
Neither did I.
Okay.
So I went very officiously, you know, to do
just ready for work.
To our presentation. And then when the meeting was going on, I think there was a computer that was blocking my face. So he kept saying, can you move this way? I want to see you properly. And I was saying, who's this two Nigerian guy?
Well,
you know?
I did say that they're very bold and forward.
But then, so it went well, and we struck a conversation from there. But what helped was that he actually lived in my neighborhood.
Okay.
Coincidentally. So obviously, then I'll give you a ride home kind of conversation.
You spent a lot of time together.
Picking you up after work and dropping you off at home. So that long ride from work to home and all the traffic, drive time traffic, I mean, gave us opportunity to have long chats.
That's nice.
Long conversations. Nice. And it became like a regular every day after work. And after a while, he started calling me my wife. And I'm like, hey, you haven't proposed to me. I have not accepted. Then you're calling me your wife, you know, but it was a joke, because it was a joke. And then, I mean, gradually, I just realized that he had a lot of qualities that I really admired, and I didn't set out to date him, but we just ended up dating, and
So tell me more about Multiple Concepts and what really you've done with Multiple Concepts in the 24 years that it's been in existence.
Yeah, Multiple Concepts started out as an advertising company.
Okay.
So we started running accounts, managing accounts for companies like Western Union, ADB, and so many more. And out of that, we started doing this game show called Agro.
I remember.
So that was like one of the major babies
with David Donto, right?
David Donto and co, yeah. So we traveled basically the whole country doing Agro, and it was actually his brainchild.
Okay.
You know, a Nigerian designing an account program.
He had been here for a much longer time from before he met you, right?
A few years.
Okay.
A few years,
okay.
yeah.
He immersed himself into the Ghanaian culture.
So we started Agro, and that traveled around the country, and then we realized that actually it was doing Agro that we realized that Ghanaian music was on the rise.
Yep.
That was the days of hip life, and we had the Lord Kenyas and Achiami, and I mean, there was a whole different vibe then. So we realized that they were always arguing backstage that if I go out, you see the fans I have more fans than you, I'm more popular than you. So he came back from the trip and said to me that these musicians, they're doing so well in Ghana. This was, at that time, Ghana's industry was even way ahead of Nigeria's.
It was.
Yes. So he was like, no, why don't we come up with something, you know, that can celebrate and award them? So then we came up with the concept of the Ghana Music Awards. So once we came up with that, then obviously I had to stop working at Joy FM to join him, because then that was a big project that needed full attention. So I had to resign and join him. And then we launched the Ghana Music Awards. And it was just
that was a huge leap of faith, though.
It was.
You know, because I'm thinking 24 years ago.
Yeah.
You know that we weren't really celebrating musicians to the extent where we would go out, you know, buy a ticket, get dressed, you know, do the whole red carpet. At the time, I think obviously it's grown along the years, but it's not something that was. It wasn't a normal thing to do.
It was a leap of faith.
It was a leap of faith.
It was a leap of faith. We just had the conviction that you know, when you have to seize the moment.
Yes.
That the time was right, the talent was there, and there was nothing like that. So we just needed to jump into the space and then just do something. And obviously I'd worked at Joy FM, had gained a lot of experience in organizing promotional activities and all of that. And we're young and adventurous. So I said, fine, I mean, I quit and I joined you, and then we just get this switch on the road.
So Ghana Music Awards, then there is a Night of 1,000 Laughs, which has obviously become more than 1,000 now. And then there's so many others that you have created, so these flagship events. And within the 24 years, obviously, you know, people set out, you know, the events on their calendar to come and showcase, display, and also to network. Is this something that you created in the format of your shows, or did it just grow organically as you grew?
Well, we started with the Ghana Music Awards, and then as that grew along, we realized that Ghanaians began to develop a taste for leisure. The middle class was growing, and they began to have they had extra money, and they needed to provide leisure. You know, leisure is, I mean, it's a need.
Yes, it is.
Once your basic needs have been met, food, clothes, shelter, you begin to look at life. What else can I do?
Yeah, but Theresa, do you know that people actually? I know celebrities, not just in the music industry, but from all sectors of the arts and crafts and entertainment, who pencil out, who go on crash courses, like, you know, diets, and they fly to Turkey to cinch their waist. They do all sorts of things just to come to the Ghana Music Awards and all these other awards that you have.
In the most glamorous and glorious outfits.
Yes.
And slay.
And they slay. It's like they bring it all.
It's a whole big business. I mean, for the other spin-off activities like the fashion industry, like the...
I think it's a great, it's been a great opportunity to give them a platform to showcase
and express themselves. Yeah. So once we set up the Ghana Music Awards, then we began to look around and see what else could we do.
Yeah.
And then we realized that the stand-up comedy was huge in Nigeria, and it was still growing in Ghana. So we thought, why don't we see whether Ghanaians would appreciate what's going on? So we began to bring in some Nigerian comedians to do fully stand-up comedy events, and they turned out to be hits. And through that, we began to also explore, give Ghanaian comedians the opportunity to also be on these platforms. And through that, they've also began to grow to the point where they are all now beginning to hold their own events. So we saw it actually as developing the industry in steps, you know, stages and steps. So the music one was being developed, the comedy was being developed. And we went on to do events like
the Miss Malaika.
The Miss Malaika, again. I mean, that's some beauty pageants, but we decided to approach it from a reality show format and more of a finishing school concept. So we take the girls.
I like that. I like the fact that, you know, and that's a very important keyword that you just use, a finishing school, because a lot of the ladies in you know, who try to be beauty pageants and who are aspiring to become beauty pageants don't really go through the finishing touches. You know, they all have this perception, and unfortunately maybe there haven't been that many platforms for them to make reference to. They have this perception that, you know, you just have to be slim, tall, and have those assets, you know, I'm not going to go into that, but I'm sure we all know what I'm speaking about. And then you are considered to be a beauty pageant. But there's a lot more than just
Miss Malaika straight from the onset de-emphasized all those
looks. And demystified that as well.
Said, we're looking for African beauties.
Yes.
We're looking for beauty inside and out. So it's really started from the inside and then it emanates outside. So it's more about the substance of who you were.
Exactly.
Than the labels.
Yes.
The physical labels that beauty pageants had become accustomed to labeling women. You know, so we thought, let's forget all about that and let's focus about the people. And also let's groom them to be youth ambassadors.
Yes.
Youth ambassadors and role models in society. So that also defined whom we selected as the final queen. And we also de-emphasized going abroad to represent Ghana on all those pageants. We thought that wasn't necessary. Rather, work here as an ambassador, take and run projects that would involve the other queens and impact society.
I mean, you have
that was very important.
You have unearthed a lot of talent.
A lot of talent.
From entertainment to laughter. I mean, entertainment, laughter, you know, music to you know, the beauty and the fashion industry. I wanted to touch on a little bit, and I know that this might be a sensitive subject, but I just to see, you know, as a woman, and I ask all my guests, you know, how do you handle the criticism? Because social media, you have, you know, messages sort of bleeping all through your phone and everywhere. How do you handle the criticism?
Well, the thing is that you have to, first of all, develop a thick skin and be very focused on your objective and what you're trying to do. And just realize that you just have to keep communicating, because sometimes there are misperceptions and misunderstandings and all of that. So once you know that they will never understand the full picture unless you explain it and you keep communicating. So we realized that we had to constantly educate. So that's how we approached it. And also not to let everything you hear affect you, but always find an opportunity to get the truth out. And with the advent of social media, you realize that there are digital footprints out there. So if someone puts out a negative comment about your business and it cannot be corroborated, the person is defaming you and slandering you. So then we began to now take action and take steps towards such utterances because of digital footprints. So there will always be a rejoinder, there will always be an approach to counter whatever was being put out there, just to make sure that the right information was also available out there.
And people don't just use social media as a means to just, like you said, to defame and to, you know, to slander your name and character, assassinate you. I totally agree, because I think that that's one thing that people have lost control over, over being in control.
And,
you know,
and I think it's a form of cyberbullying.
It is.
Because everybody has an opinion.
It is.
They just spew forth everything
because they have access to just.
So it is a form of cyberbullying, and sometimes you've got to seek redress in the law.
So how do you keep the love brewing in the household? What do you do?
Oh, we do lots of things together. Like
like what?
We do like annual vacations together.
Okay.
And just a time when it's just the four of us and just get away.
You're gonna do something with me right now. Take off your mask. I don't know which camera you're looking at, but you're going to say this with me on the count of 3. Are you ready? Take off your mask. It's easy. We're just three things. Look at that smile. Okay. Adamiek, I'm going out. Okay? I don't give a heck. I'm going out. When the borders open, I don't give a heck. I'm going out. So you guys do vacations, and what else do you guys do?
Yes, we do vacations, and then we do We do occasional like family hangouts, friends.
But I mean, vacations,
friends and
but you do
family.
vacations, like, you know, are you like one of those domestic tourists where you do a lot of intercity travel?
Yeah, we do road trips.
Okay,
we do road trips
nice.
from Ghana to Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
So,
never done that.
Yeah, it's really good. Really
Is it,
amazing.
is it really 9 hours?
Really cool. Yeah. It's a
It's
whole
9
day.
hours.
Yeah. So we start in the morning at dawn.
Yes.
We cross Aflao into Lome.
Yes.
And we have breakfast.
Okay.
And then after breakfast, we pack ourselves back into the car. We drive. And we get to...
The alter ego is
to-
coming out. The
to-
alter ego is coming out. The other Theresa is coming out.
And we
You see,
get
I
to-
knew there was
we get
there was a fun side
to,
of
to
you.
Cotonou.
Yes.
And then we have our lunch.
Yes.
And then from Cotonou, we
Cotonou
drive
as in
into
Benin?
Lagos. Yeah.
Okay.
Then we drive into Lagos.
Yes.
And we have our dinner.
Okay.
So breakfast.
Hey,
in
so it's really
Lome,
scheduled.
yeah. So that's really nice.
How many kids do you have,
Two.
Theresa? Two. Okay,
Yeah.
so girl, boy,
Boy,
girl.
boy and a girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do the kids at home also speak? Where is your husband from? What tribe is he? Is he?
It's Yoruba.
He's Yoruba. Okay. All right. We are in this new normal where, you know, there's social distancing. You know, there's limited access to many things where we have to observe the protocols. As a
Yeah.
businesswoman and as a mother whose children have also been, you know, told to stay home, you're also working.
Yeah.
How have you been able to balance all of that? And what kind of plans have you put in place? And what advice also, finally, would you give any upcoming aspiring lady who wants to go in the industry of advertising and marketing on what not to do?
So the good thing about the COVID is that you are home together as a family.
Yes.
So you've got to spend a lot of time bonding.
Yes.
So we've really discovering the children,
Yes.
spending time with them, digging deep into their lifestyles, trying to understand them, and creating family moments with them. So we have game nights, we play Ludo, we play cards, we play Monopoly, Scrabble, and we schedule it like a few days every week. And
That's
so that kind
fun.
of brings us together. And then also the kids have been doing online schooling. So getting involved in what they are doing, what they are studying, the exams and all of that.
I think this has been a blessing in disguise,
it has
don't you
been.
also
It has been for family life.
Yes.
Definitely for family life. But for work, it's been tough.
I'd say that it has been tough, but I'll also say that it's created an opportunity for people to think outside the box.
Definitely.
And also to not get too comfortable with the routine of their you know, their regular routine, and, and look at other residual income opportunities as well.
And also, I mean, the world is going to a certain direction.
It is.
And I guess we're probably dragging our feet to embrace it. But now we all have no choice.
We don't have a choice.
But to go digital.
But it came so quick.
So quick. And that's what happens when you're dragging your feet. You get pushed into it and you have to sink or swim. So that's really where we are now.
We ain't
swimming.
sinking, we're going to swim.
We're swimming, So we're swimming. And we are coming up with new ways of doing what we do.
That school of thought thing that it's a woman's world. Do you think that it's a woman's world?
I believe so.
Yeah?
I believe so because women have a lot of EQ, emotional quotient, which I believe is what runs the world.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
It's what runs the world.
That's the missing piece of the puzzle that men unfortunately don't have. And so with, you know, at least if you gel the two and if you take some bit of advice from our standpoint, you know, emotional intelligence is what will guide you to get things accomplished. I do definitely agree with that.
And also women are very good, we are very shrewd.
We are.
You know, we are very good at managing.
Yes.
Yeah, managing with whatever you have. And I think that when life throws you lemons, women will always make lemonade. You know, so
again, you said that, you know, it's about reigniting, rebooting, resetting, and also recalibrating. I like that because it's as though it's like everything that you've ever known is no longer normal as it is. So it's giving you an opportunity
to recalibrate for the new normal.
And also to reignite things that you had forgotten.
Yes, definitely.
And so I'm going to take you to this side after the break, and we're going to see the steps that you've probably forgotten. We'll be right back after the break with Theresa Ayode. Welcome back from the break. I've been speaking to Theresa Ayode of Charterhouse, who is a powerhouse in her own way. But there's something about her that you haven't probably seen before, and probably even from myself. So I did say that we're going to explore would you please stand up with me, my darling, and join me?
Taking me out of my comfort zone, eh?
Isn't that what the new normal is
You
about?
know?
I did say I was going to take you out of your comfort zone in any
see?
case. I mean, this is not what the new normal is
You
about.
know?
But talking about the new normal before we actually do a couple of steps here for you guys at home, what are your plans, Teresa, for, you know, Ghana Music Awards that everyone has on their calendar as one of the most sought after events of the year?
Yes.
What are your plans given the new normal now?
Well, the Ghana Music Awards is actually a calendar event, so it has to happen this year.
It has to happen.
Yeah, it has to happen this year. So now that the restrictions have been eased a bit,
Yes.
we can actually get going. And it took a 3-month break.
Yes.
And we are coming back in August.
Okay, so
there's
it's
a
still
build-up
happening in
now.
August as
Yeah,
scheduled.
it's happening in August, but this time it's going to be designed as a digital event.
Oh my
because
goodness.
we are looking at reaching the massive international audience, millions of viewers, and of course, viewers on TV3 and nationwide. So it's designed for TV and for digital, and it's going to be produced with a few invited guests.
Okay.
So we'll have, it will not be a ticketed event this time round.
As usual, of course. But this is so different from the normal. What happens to all the people that have set out? Of course, many people know that the world has changed. You know, we're not in normal times. You know, of course, this social distancing, we all have to wear our masks to communicate with.
Yeah.
I think that soon the handshake that we've all known would be archaic and gone and
see?
old-fashioned. And
You
this will be the
This will
new,
be the new one,
hi. Can you guys see the colors are working together? You see, ladies that think alike, dress alike. Okay, so Teresa, I did promise our viewers that we're going to do a bit of a jiggle.
Yeah.
And so some of you that don't know, you see, some of us seasoned ladies come from an era where we didn't have to twerk to show that we could move.
It was all about the leg movement.
It's all about the leg and the hip movement. You know, and just the attitude. So give us some music and let's show you what we used to do. Okay? Can we start? Is that right?
Right.
Come on. Take it. Oh my God, I wasn't even born at the time when this music was being done. But I remember when, you know, at parties we used to dance it. And I'm sure some of you have also seen your parents' dances, and even some of you young guys as well. So you can do a bit of twist to it, whatever you want to do to it, but it's classy, you know, it's fun. I don't know what they call it, electric slide. I hope you guys have enjoyed this edition of Today's Woman. It's been such a pleasure having you, Teresa. I mean,
thanks for having me.
When all of this dies down,
Yeah.
I promise to bring you that bottle of wine.
Definitely.
And you have to make me something special. I want to try a
Definitely.
Nigerian dish. What would you recommend? Their jollof rice.
No.
Thank God.
No, not
Because
the
you know
jollof
that Ghana
rice.
jollof beats Nigerian jollof by far.
They should just retire that argument.
They should leave
They
it.
should retire it.
It's for us.
You know?
Just like she is for us. But we've accepted
They should just
giving
retire
her
that one.
to
That's what
you.
that one. Leave it for us. I mean, there's no question. There's no question about it. I don't even know how that debate started.
Actually,
It was a non-starter.
the debate started from Senegal. Because apparently it's supposed to have been a Senegalese dish.
Yeah.
But I'm not even going to guess to that because I'm sure shoulders will start, you know, the buzz will start running.
So
Michelle also says that.
I'll
Senegal.
cook you ogbono.
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 Feli
Feli.
with amala.
With amala. I don't know what it means, but I want to try. So long as it doesn't have any meat, because I don't eat meat.
Oh, okay.
And so it has to have
Eat
a lot of
fish?
fish. Lots of fish, lots of vegetables.
Fish is cool.
I'm looking forward to it. It's been a fun chat that I had with you. Thank you for
fun hanging out as
your...
well.
I'm catching my
I
breath.
haven't done this in a while.
Charlie,
Yeah.
you know, like I was saying to most of you, we've gotten too used to being couch potatoes. We've gotten too used to being...
Over the past 3 months, isn't it?
3 months has kept us idle and has kept us, you know, slow. So it's time to get moving. Get your, you know, stop thinking about what was, what could have been. Think about what should and what could.
Yeah.
You know, think into the future and be grateful for today. What are your nuggets of advice? I always say, what is your God advice? What's your God moment?
My God moment is Okay, my guiding principle in life, whatever your hands find to do,
Yes.
do it with all your might.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's
I
it.
love that.
So whatever you're doing, just do it well.
Yes. So Teresa, thank you so very much. And for
Thank
my
you.
viewers, now that we're just about to, get into the next segment, the Trendy Woman coming up shows us how to wear makeup the right way for the right occasion. Take a look.
Hi, as a beauty lover, you probably encounter some sort of dilemma every day as you try to figure out which look works best for work in terms of makeup. Well, I have a quick solution, really quick and easy, and the first is to start with a primer. Your primer may come in a cream form or it may come in a spray form, whichever way. The primer sets your face and gets you ready for the rest of your makeup. If you want your makeup to last all day, a primer is the best way to go. So go right ahead and apply. The second step is to use a color correcting concealer, and what your color correcting concealer does is it evens out the dark circles under your eyes or any other dark spots that you have on your face. Next thing you do is you use your foundation. Now make sure that the foundation you're using is the right shade for you. Now that my skin is properly primed and I have my foundation on, I move in next with my eyeshadow. So the darker color gives it a little bit of depth. Now I'm going to draw my eyebrows. I will define them, after which I will follow with a little highlight on my brow bone. Next up, I highlight my brow bone with a lighter shade of eyeshadow that I used. Next, we are going to line our eyes lightly with the dark brow pencil that we used earlier for our eyebrows. With light dashes, we do that, and we do the top as well. Follow with mascara. Now to set our foundation and everything that we've done, I follow in with pressed powder. You can use loose powder, whatever it is. It's a setting powder. Then follow with a nude lipstick or lip gloss. And there you have it, a gorgeous no makeup look that is sure to turn heads. Remember, there's beauty in simplicity. Go out and conquer.
Hi there, welcome back to DIYs with Akuvi Ajabs. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to refurbish your old rusted hanger into this. The first thing you do is to spread your fabric on the table, fold it into 2 equal halves, reach out to your pinking shears and cut out 3 strands from the fabric. 3 strands is enough for you to wrap around the entire hanger. Cutting your strands, pick your hanger and start wrapping your fabric around it firmly. Keep wrapping your fabric around the hanger until you get to the end of it. So pick your glue . And glue the rest of it onto the hanger. Very easy tutorial. Thank you so much for watching.
Welcome back from the break. I have a special message for you from GTP about, being careful in these times. These are not normal times. And the message that they have for you says, your life matters, so take good care of yourself and your family. Wash your hands with soap under running water. And always wear a mask when you step out at all times. Eat well, rest well to boost your immune system, and follow all protocols. And this is brought to you by GTP, Still Timeless. Now, in this show, we try to showcase and also share some of our nuggets of wisdom and, pieces of information that we've all come across in our lives to you to make your life better. And in this segment, the Home and Wellness segment, today we'll be speaking and also showcasing how your mind and your mood is affected by your environment. So take a look at what myself and Dr. Hannah-Lisa Teta did in a home to show you how your mind and your mood are affected by your environment. Take a look.
Home and Wellness is brought to you by First National Bank and Feedtrip.
So on today's Woman, I meet the most beautiful, the most intelligent, the most talented, the most well-spoken and put together today's woman. I have with me Hannah-Lisa Teta, who's the CEO of Healthville. Now wait before I introduce her to you. Look at this. Would you think this is a new age doctor? She's actually a certified doctor, a certified practitioner, aren't you?
I am, but I was wondering if I was the one you were introducing.
Oh,
too much pressure, Michelle.
Humility. But listen, so we're here at the Nova, which is one of Deaf Charcoal Plus's developments, and I want us to talk really about, how ventilation and illumination and clutter really affects your state of mind.
Yeah, it's good that we're talking about this. Kudos to today's woman.
Yes,
yes. Because this topic is very important.
It is.
I recently discovered something about yellow.
Yes.
They say babies tend to cry more in the yellow room.
Okay.
Because yellow tends to make people angry.
So
it's a color associated with anger.
What do you feel about the colors, the choice of colors that they've chosen here?
The colors are good, they're great. Most people use white for purity, innocence,
Yes.
calmness.
Yes.
But when you come to a room that has white, you have that feeling.
Yes.
White also can make you feel lonely and isolated if there are not a lot of things in the room.
Yes.
So you see, because they know what white can do, they've put a lot of things in the room in ways in which the room doesn't look too cluttered.
Exactly.
Beautiful. I think the windows are great. So you determine how much air you want in, how much ventilation
Yes.
in. And it's very great that although the space is small, they've made a whole part available for ventilation. And so it's very important for you to have very good lights. So you can see the lights here. These are the general lights on the top. Then they have a light here, which could be a task light.
Yes.
But sometimes it can also be a decorative light. So you can see that it brings some beauty to the room.
Yes, it does. So today I'd like to speak to the marketing associate of Deaf Charcoal Plus, who tell us a bit more in just a really brief sentence what the Nova is all about and why it's so different from all the others.
Nova in itself was thoughtfully designed to allow natural light and proper ventilation throughout the building.
Okay.
And that would reduce greatly the use of electricity and then other means.
So your spacing when it comes to your living environment, your work environment, is part of the things that, are built in from the inception. But in this particular case, Nova have taken into consideration from inception large windows, giving you preservation of energy, saving you money in the long run. And that's one of the topics that we'll be speaking about in one of our episodes, how to save money, how to conserve money, and how to also, change your space, feel good with the colors, the smell, and all of that. Eugene, thank you so very much for giving us insight about, what Nova is about and how you're helping us Ghanaians, potentially customers who are watching you today, on how they will be saving a lot of money if they got one of your properties.
You're welcome.
All right then, thank you. See you guys soon.
Home and Wellness was brought to you by First National Bank and Feedtrip.
It's been amazing spending time with all of you here on Today's Woman, and I wish all of you a fantastic week. Don't worry, be happy. And don't forget to pray to God, because it definitely makes a huge difference. Have a happy Sunday and a wonderful, blessed week. See you next week. Bye-bye.